Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here at Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie on a very windy day, and look what they've laid out for us today. This absolutely beautiful Royal Enfield Classic 350. They call this gray, but I call it blue, and it's an absolutely gorgeous bike. It's got the low seat, the windshield, some other goodies, the wide foot pegs. Very well done. Hey, let's go take that hot rod for a ride. Wahoo! This little Classic 350 used to belong to our friend Steve. I won't mention his last name, but he has impeccable taste in bikes. And he's kind of done this thing upright. He's got the windshield on it, the wide pegs, the heel shifter, the seat delete on the back, and then the seat itself is a low seat. And he must have added that for the looks, because I know height doesn't bother him on a motorcycle. And it does look good. It gives it kind of a little wilder look. Let's run down the road here and see what we can do. This is a 348cc single overhead cam, single cylinder, air cooled, oil cooled. Look at that, it just turns on a dime, gives you 2 nickels change. 20 foot-pounds of torque, that's about 27 newton meters. Hey, if you're in the market for a new or used Royal Enfield, Triumph, classic British bike of any type, get yourself down here to Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa. They've got all kinds of gear and parts and stuff and backpacks and boots, and tell them Fuzzy Biker sent you. BaxterCycle.com. Wahoo! This little hot rod is a ball. I have one of these of my own, and I just love riding. As a matter of fact, I put about 50 miles on mine this morning already. They're just a hoot. Wheelbase is 54.7 inches. I think that is 1,389 millimeters, I believe. Look at this. Just turns. Absolutely no trouble at all. I love these little bikes. They are just a ball to ride. That's why I've got one of my own. Loads of power. Good enough for what I do anyway. 5-speed transmission. One of the smoothest 5-speeds out there as far as I'm concerned. Works very well with the engine. Just a beautiful little hot rod. I'm glad it's got the windshield on there because I do not have the windshield on my Classic, and I'm really seriously thinking about getting one for the winter. I'd like to see how it performs here. Rolls right up the hill without any problems. What a beautiful machine. What a beautiful machine. I love it. Hey, let's turn around the other way this time, huh? Just spins around in a circle, no problem at all. Nice short wheelbase. Ground clearance on this hot rod is 6.7 inches. I believe that's 170 millimeters. Weight on this little smoker is 430 pounds. I believe that's 195 kilograms. It's very low center of gravity. It does not feel like it weighs anything close to that. You know what? To try the windshield, we are going to hit the road. Now, there's a lot of wind here today. The biggest enemy of this motorcycle is a strong headwind or a steep hill. We've got both coming in on us right now. 5th gear, what a hot rod, what a hot rod. I love it. These are the funnest little motorcycles. I would not give mine up for anything. Well, maybe for an Interceptor. Do a little spin around here. Look at that. Look at that, huh? Loads of power. Front brake on this hot rod is a 300 millimeter with a dual piston Vibri caliper. Rear brake is a 270 millimeter with a single piston Vibri. The brakes work very well, very predictable. I like them. Look at that. Just just a hoot. Just an absolute hoot. Little story. I took mine on gravel, about 50 miles of gravel here recently, and it performed out. It just was outstanding. Just did it so well. You know, it did not have any issues at all. It's got a 19-inch front wheel and I think an 18 on the back. You know, so pretty darn good. Let's see if there's any traffic coming. Do a little hill spin test right here. Look at that. Look at that. I love it. I absolutely love it. If you're ever in Marnie, get yourself over here to the Derailed Grill. Good eats, as the saying goes. I think we're in second. A lot of pull. A lot of pull. Seat height is 31.7 inches. I believe that's 805 millimeters, but it doesn't feel like that. It's a very narrow motorcycle, and then this one has got that low seat on there, so I don't know how much that takes off, but you really feel like you're right down on the ground. Rear suspension, I believe, is about 3.5 inches on these. That's 89 millimeters. Front suspension, they've got 41 millimeter forks, and I believe it's 5.1 inches of travel, which I believe is about 130 millimeters. Like I said, I took mine dirt biking and it did well. I got to get that video out so y'all can see that. That was a lot of fun. Real hoot, a real hoot. I've got about 6,000 miles on mine, by the way. Now this one has got, looks like about 860 miles on it, but it's a year old, and it still has a 2-year warranty. When you buy these new, they have a 3-year transferable warranty. So this bike, in this form, would still have a 2-year warranty. You know, plenty of warranty. My Himalayan is 2 years old tomorrow. I bought it today, 2 years ago, and I picked it up 2 years ago tomorrow. I've got 24,000 miles on that. With biggest problem I've had is keeping it clean. You know, it just works so well. You know what? Let's roll down to Motorcycle Park and we'll do a little walk around down there. This thing's a real beauty. One of the prettiest ones out there. This one, not only did it come with a good looking color from the factory, but it's got our friend Steve's magic touch on it. He did a little bit of customizing to it that really adds up to superior good looks, I would say. Such a beautiful motorcycle to ride. We were just talking about this thing this morning. Of course, I love the paint, the way this thing looks, and the style of the motorcycle, but I've got one of these, and I'll go to a gas station, and people ask me what year it is, and I'll tell them mine's a 22, and are you sure, you know? Are you sure? That's got to be older than that. You know, it's such a classic looking motorcycle. They've had the same style since, well, probably the 30s, but just a gorgeous thing. You know, it's got this is a cast aluminum front end. You know, it's got this kind of a look with the tiger eyes and the pilots, and metal fender. Everything's metal, by the way. This is all metal. Side covers, fenders, everything is just metal, you know. Very well done on their part, but it's a gorgeous thing. You know, the chrome spoked wheels, the long fender all the way down, the covered, you know, forks up here. These are 41 millimeter forks. You know, if it wasn't for the disc brakes, it could be a bike. It could be a bike right out of the past. Very well done on Royal Enfield's part, and of course, very well done on the part of the previous owner. He did some good add-ons. Let's cover that real quick. First, we did this wonderful windshield on the front. We did take this on the highway. It does make a difference. I might get one of those. I'm not sure yet. Got the little eye cover here on this. I don't know if that's stock or not. I think I have that on mine. Jumping back here, he's got the wide pegs. I do have this on mine, and I love it. A little bit of, he's got the seat delete on the back, so he does not have the back seat. You can get that if you need it. The other thing that he's done is he's put this low ride seat on here. These are my Royal Enfield Alpine Star gloves that I just love, of course. But look at that. Look at how that looks. You know, and it does add a little bit more flair to the bike, I think. I don't think you need it on this kind of a bike. It's such a, you know, it's a narrow bike, and with such a low center of gravity, I don't think you need a little seat, but there it is, you know. And they've also got these springs. That's a spring kit you can add. They don't really do anything. They just look good, you know. So they look like the old-fashioned spring seat bikes. Let's see, what else has he done to us? So we've got the seat delete, the low ride seat, the spring kit, the pegs, the windshield on the front. By golly, I think we've covered it all. But what a beautiful machine, you know, just so well done, you know. I'm a real fan of these. Like I said, I've said it several times already. I have one of these. I wouldn't give it up for the world. Just a whole lot of fun to ride. It's the motorcycle I keep closest to my garage door at my house. I get up in the morning, I go for a walk or something, I'll always hop on my classic 350. Matter of fact, I did that this morning, did it yesterday morning. Even though I ride my Himalayan today, this is the bike I started my day on. I've got big bags on mine that Action Cycles put on there for me, and I use it, I call it my grocery getter. I use it to run errands around town. It's such an easy bike to ride. You know, it just does everything so well. You don't have to fight with it or wrestle with it, or, you know, it just does what you need to do. Got the knee pads here. These letters are raised, by the way. They're three-dimensional. I don't know if you can see that, but they are. Nice stripe here with this little inset here. Chrome pipe, you know, just so much done right on this thing. Chrome shocks, the chrome wheels with spokes. I think mine has mags on it. You know, look at this rear end, you know. Stripe all the way back, you know, just so well done, so well done. Jumping up here, they've got the Amal style grips. There used to be a company called Amel or Amal back in the day, and they made grips that look like this, so I call these Amal style grips. They've got these contoured, let's look at them on this side. They've got these stylized, contoured kind of levers, and I really love these. These are some of my favorite levers on the market. Take a look at that. They've got a lot of good sweep to them. They're wider through here than they are in the ends or up here. They've got a good radius to the edges. They're very comfortable to use with the hand. First time I rode one of these bikes, that was one of the first things I thought was those levers are awesome, you know. Of course, you got a clutch adjuster up here as well as down there. Now, jumping up here to the switch gear, information button right here. I'm going to do this right away. There is a USB port, waterproof USB port down here somewhere there. And I've used that on mine. It's active when the bike is on, when the key is on. So information button, USB port, flash to pass, low beam, high beam, blinkers, horn, jumping over here, kill switch, run switch, and a rocker switch, start switch, and then of course hazard lights, gas on this side, brake of course. Jumping up here to the dash, this is kind of an interesting thing. So the dash is both what I call a weak point and a strong point on this bike. It's a weak point in that when you're sitting on the motorcycle, you have to literally look down to see the dash. When I'm riding with my full face helmet, I really have to tilt my head down because of that. When I have my half helmet on, it isn't quite so bad, but and it also has minimal information. There just isn't a lot there. You know, it's a speedometer basically. There is a fuel gauge up here, and then a trip meter 1 and 2, and then the odometer here. Other than that, there's a battery light, engine light, and that's about it. Minimal information. So, you know, no clock, no gear indicator, none of that stuff. There is a clock, but you have to switch to it with the information button, I guess. I'll see if we can do that. Just keep your eye on this little hot rod right here. So odometer, trip 1, trip 2, I think that's the clock, 303, yep. Then back to the odometer. But so when you're out and about, this bike, you don't have to constantly monitor things. You don't look for those kind of things. They don't bother you. And it isn't an issue because the bike at 20 horsepower is such a leisurely riding machine, you know. I love these things. I can't say enough good about them. And if you're interested in one of these, get yourself down here to Baxter. If you're interested in this one, get yourself down here to Baxter Cycle, Mighty Minitropolis of Marnie, Iowa, exit 51 off Interstate 80, or go to baxtercycle.com. They can help you out. They've got new and used Royal Enfields, Triumphs, classic British bikes of all types, all kinds of parts, gears, accessories, all the goodies, you know, all the goodies. Like today I was looking at new winter boots. I need winter boots for the winter because I ride all year long, and I want my little toes to stay warm this year. But anyway, they've got it all, and they can help you all out. Now, it's a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day, but windy. I'm going to get my gear on and I'm going to go ride. Y'all do the same. Life is good. Wahoo! Howdy y'all, fuzzy biker out here in Elkhorn, Iowa. Look at this windmill behind us. I've lived here for, well, since 1976 in this area, and I have never seen that thing spinning. I know they grind flour with that yet. They just do it on special occasions. Today's a pretty windy day, but check that thing out. Isn't that amazing? That's my hot rod Himalayan right there. I am just amazed at that. Absolutely amazed. Wow. Wahoo!